Hey y'all, today is Monday, November 16th. Unfortunately, we did not make our goal of 100 subscribers by the 15th, but hey, not a big deal. We'll get there eventually, so no worries. Today's video, I'm going to keep it short and sweet because if I don't, I'm just going to ramble and there's going to be too many thoughts running through my head for me to possibly make this make sense. Some of you have probably seen the Ghost Rider movies with Nick Cage. There's Ghost Rider and Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. And some of you have probably seen the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show that is or was connected to the MCU. Me, I believe that the Ghost Rider movies and the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., along with the Runaways, Cloak and Dagger, possibly even the Netflix Marvel shows, are all in one universe, which is separate from the standard MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse that has the Iron Man, the Avengers, Thor, and the rest of those. I believe they were the same universe at one point, and something caused them to diverge. So I believe in the Prime Earth, or Earth 616, as you will, and then you have Earth 616.1. They're very similar, almost down to the tiniest details. But something caused them to diverge. There was some moment that caused them to split. And for those who have maybe read into multiverse theory or looked into it, there are some people and some proponents that say every choice that every person has ever made has spawned another universe. Like in this universe, you decided to take the scenic route to work, and in this universe, you decided not to. Both of those could have they're very small details and changes, but they could have vastly different outcomes for the world. Okay, it's those small things that change. Now, I believe that what caused those two universes to diverge is in the original Avengers movie, when Agent Coulson is killed by Loki. I believe at that point, Nick Fury made a decision to either let him stay dead and let the Avengers have their hero and their fallen friend the impetus that they needed to become a real team, to stop fighting amongst themselves, become a real team to step up and to save the world like they needed to. Or Nick Fury decided not to let his friends stay dead. One of his only real friends, one of the few people that he actually trusts, like in the world, not even in the world, in the universe, since Nick Fury does stuff in space too. He felt maybe like that the world would be a better place with Coulson in it. So he let the Avengers continue to think that he was dead, but brought him back through the Tahiti project that was shown in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So you have Earth 616 where Coulson is dead, and that's all. And then you have Earth 616.1, which there is a precedent for in the comics. That is an actual thing that does exist. It is just like Earth 616.1 in the comics is just like the regular Marvel Earth 616, but they diverged at a very small point. There was one event that caused them to become two separate things. Now, I believe that with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and their universe time hopping, that at the end of that show, they were possibly brought back into Earth 616. Because there's a chance that universe, 616.1, no longer exists. So that they were wrapped back into Earth 616. Could be, might not be, I have no idea. I'm just hoping. Now, I feel like, one, the MCU is going to change its name. It's going to go from MCU to MCM, the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse. Especially with the rumors and reports that are going on that not just in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, but the next Spider-Man movie is going to have not just Tom Holland as Spider-Man, but Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield from the Amazing Spider-Man series back, all playing Spider-Man. Now, it's for those of you that have seen Into the Spider-Verse, It's going to be a lot like that. Okay? Multiple Spider-Men, all from different universes, all that I went through, possibly similar, but most likely very different backstories and histories. They're all going to be different ages, most likely. It seems that Tobey Maguire is going to be the older Spider-Man who has kind of went through it all already, who's, toughed it out and dealt with his villains and had MJ, lost MJ, and went through all that. And then Andrew Garfield, a bit older than Tom Holland, but still kind of, world weary and knows what it's like, but still has that upbeat, heroic optimism. And then, of course, Tom Holland, who's still somewhat learning his role as the hero that he should step up and be. There have also been other reports that Deadpool will be making a cameo appearance in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, that seems like it will be something small, but by introducing Deadpool, you're also introducing mutants, the Weapon X program, and the X-Men. I'm not sure how they would do that. There may be a situation where maybe the Fox universe is collapsing, and to save as many people as they can, Doctor Strange pulls Deadpool and the rest of the mutants and anybody else he can over to our Earth. I feel like that would be a good way to introduce them, and maybe to start mutants from that point. Because at the moment, if they try to say that, mutants have always been around, it's like, why did no one ever know? Like S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra and anyone else has been doing experiments and all kind of stuff, like seemingly for like a century now at this point in the Marvel Universe. So why has no one ever found of it? Why has no one ever heard of mutants? Now, there are reports and rumors that they'll introduce the mutants, and the reason behind no one ever knowing was that Charles Xavier, possibly with the help of Jean Grey, possibly not, has been just collectively wiping the mind of everyone on Earth that ever sees a mutant, mentions mutants, anything. Like, he's just making sure that the global mind state is constantly free of mutants so they can live in hiding. I don't think that would happen, because as anything has ever shown, Xavier doesn't want to hide. He wants to live peacefully. He wants to coexist peacefully with regular humans. He doesn't want to hide because he feels like humans and mutants should not have to be separated. Now, if this is their way of introducing the mutants, I hope they don't. I really hope that's not the case, because then it would just be whatever most likely small group of mutants that Doctor Strange would be able to save, unless it's Doctor Strange and a bunch of other magicians also helping them and making more and more portals to where more and more people meet up on Earth. But even then, if there's too many, now we have a whole nother Earth full of people on our Earth. We're already dealing with overpopulation, because this is after the snap and after the second snap that brought everyone back. So the Earth was back to its original population. So that would be already 8 billion people plus however many people that hopefully, seemingly they would save from that Earth, would probably end up being like another billion or more. It would cause problems, which could possibly lead to the whole, mutant uprising and governments wanting to turn their back on mutants and seeing them as a threat to be destroyed. Because now there's so many mutants coming over from this other universe, and we don't know what kind of powers they have. We don't know what they can do. We know what heroes we have, that signed the Sokovia Accords or didn't sign the Sokovia Accords, but we know what they can do. We know those guys. We got Captain America and Falcon and all that. We don't know what these new people can do. These are folks literally from an entirely different universe. We don't know their powers whatsoever. So that could be a not bad introduction. It could be a pretty good introduction. I feel like they shouldn't do that. I mean, either way, all the reports and rumors, that's all they are. Just reports and rumors. There's no actual fact or anything behind them. Now, some of them have been, there have been certain reports and things and rumors from pretty reputable sources, folks that have given out information, months, sometimes even years beforehand, that actually did turn out to be true. when it comes to the MCU and what they were planning. But most of it, I would say, take with a grain of salt. Okay. Now, some of this stuff, I don't know how right I am. I'm just a random guy who tends to guess stuff rightly when it comes to movies, and especially comic related movies. I tend to be right when I guess stuff. Who knows though? I could be completely off base right now. I'm hoping though that with the introduction of the multiverse, I'm hoping that there's a reintroduction of Johnny Blaze and Ghost Rider and the rest of the Spirits of Vengeance and brought over into the Marvel Universe, especially with the fact that there is a new Blade with Marshall Ali playing him. There's actually a team called the Midnight Suns in the comics that is when Doctor Strange, Blade, Ghost Rider has been a part of it. If they bring in the Ghost Rider like they should, there's the team right there. Like, there's more than just those three, but those have been like three of the main members. So they already have Doctor Strange, Blade's already happening, and all they need to do is just bring in Johnny, since he's already been touched on in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. universe. Just wrap that back into the Earth 616, introduce Johnny Blaze, form the Midnight Suns. They take care of mystical, world-threatening threats. But they take care of the more mystical kind of threats. If you're a person that reads the DC Comics, how there's the Justice League and then there's the Justice League Dark that takes care of the more magical and mystical threats that the regular, folks like Superman don't deal with because that's not their cup of tea. It's just like that. It's like you have the Avengers and then you have the Midnight Suns. Like, a lot of the folks that are in the Midnight Suns, they all are Avengers. Okay, they all are on that team, but they're the ones that specialize in magic and stuff, so they're over here handling that, while folks like Captain America, who doesn't do magic, is off, beating up Nazis and whatnot. I'm just hoping that they stick as close to the comics as possible. I love comic accuracy. Don't ruin stuff, but I'm just really hoping they stay as close to the comics as they possibly can, because a lot of those storylines are really good. Like, top-notch good. Like, some of the best stuff I've ever read. So, I'm just really hoping that they do introduce the mutants, they do introduce Weapon X, they do reintroduce Johnny Blaze. Or, if Marvel would just come out and say, hey, those old movies with Nicolas Cage? Those are now canon too. They're not a big deal. They didn't, his stuff didn't affect anybody over here, but it is canon. These are a part of the MCU too. So, count those. That would be great. I know they're probably never going to, the same way that they've never said that the original Blade movies were a part of the MCU. Now that would be awesome, but by their logic with the multiverse, they're probably gonna bring in the fact that those are a Marvel universe, but they're not the Marvel Cinematic Universe, if that makes sense. I'm sorry if I've been rambling. This is just stuff that really makes me think a lot, and I like it because these are some of my favorite people in comics, and I want them to be done right, especially anything that has to do with Deadpool. Anybody that knows me, Deadpool is my spirit animal. Anybody that knows me knows that. That's my guy. So any kind of rumor that Deadpool's gonna be brought in, it triggers me. I have to know the truth about it. I have to know whether this is real or not. So I'm really, really hoping that this is where Deadpool is introduced into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or Marvel Cinematic Multiverse. Patent pending. Don't nobody steal that from me. But yeah. Sorry if I've been rambling. This is just stuff that I really care about. So thanks y'all for watching another video, and see you later.